are now listening to the Life of Produk Podcast.
Yeah, what up, man? It's the boy Produk from the Life of Produk Podcast. This is episode 102. I got the Cuzzle back on the show. This is Two Cuzins, part 6. This is the 6th edition. Before we really get into the show, right, I got to thank everybody that's been viewing. Yo, the views is going up. The views is going up. The views is going up. It's up from here. Shouts out to DJ Block. DJ Block came through for episode 101. We rocked out, man. We did like a nice 30-something minute interview, man. He was dropping a lot of gems. Shouts out to H. Jones. H. Jones came through for episode 100. Episode 100 is doing some decent numbers out there. Yo, I told y'all it's up from here. Y'all better rock with me now before the price go up. Rock with the kid before the price go up. Cuzzo, what's going on, man? Welcome back to the show. What's good with you?
Yeah, man, it's good to be back. Thanks for having me, and congratulations on 100 episodes, man.
It. Yo, listen, man, it's been a long road, B. It's been kind of rough, man. You ever remember the game Oregon Trail when the thing kept breaking down? That's what I felt like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Felt like that.
Bad memories.
Y'all, bad memories. Nightmares. Yo, every time I get you on the show, I always ask you this question because I've been reading that the COVID numbers is going up and it's like 800 cases per day. What's the vibes like back home? I'll probably be back next month.
Nothing's really changed. I mean, they keep talking like every week for the last couple of weeks. It's been like, oh, they're about to bring back mask mandates. They're about to bring this back. Yeah. They haven't brought back anything. Like it is like they said the numbers were going up where like even like I could tell you, even in my office, like a lot of people were affected. Like I didn't get affected, but there was a lot of people who were out over the last like month or so. And it's like the numbers are going up. But my thing is, they said back in, again, the so-called experts said 3 years ago.
The so-called experts, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They said that they were like, oh, this is likely to not necessarily go away, but the hope is to minimize it to where if you get it, you don't necessarily have to go to the hospital and you don't die.
Yeah.
Deaths haven't gone up and hospitalizations haven't gone up. So I don't think there's any need to panic.
I don't really think so either, and that's the thing. And I no disrespect to the people that's still getting it, people still sick. You know, a lot of people got bad immune systems, right? I kind of feel like we've seen the worst of it already. I don't think that we're gonna
agree.
I don't think it's gonna come back how it was. I think once we hit COVID, we're like, oh my God, COVID. But it's like I knew somebody that had COVID a week ago. She's fine now. You know what I'm saying? I know a few people that had it. Some had it worse than others. Your immune system is trash. But I'm just saying though, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, look, man, when I did the mask thing for like almost 2 years. I am not doing it again. I'm good, brother. I'm not masking up no more. I can't do it again, man. I can't go back to that.
I did it in the office a couple of weeks ago. This shit was not comfortable.
Nah, it's not.
It just wasn't comfortable.
And I got allergy problems. Like it was really messing with me. So for me, I can't do it again. I just can't, man. I got like when I see masks now, I got PTSD. Mind you, I used to look at anti-maskers in disgust, like, look, you're spreading germs. Now I think I'm one of them. You know? I came to the dark side, brother. Yo, listen, welcome back to the show, man. Boom. So I'll probably come back next month. If I do come back next month, we lit. I need a lit night, man. I need a really lit night. I love bringing you on the show because we be talking that hip hop stuff. Before we talk hip hop though, have you listened to the new Diddy album, Brother Love?
I did. That was the first album I listened to when it came out,
Me
like
too.
last week.
I don't know how you feel about this album, but the album is fire. To me, it's fire. I like it.
I like it too. I had to go back to like when I first listened to it, it was a few tracks that stood out, and I was like, okay, but I had to go back to it. Yeah. I think like Friday afternoon, evening to really listen to it again, and like I really dug it. Like I didn't. Yeah. The thing for me that kind of. I had a different expectation. Yeah. Like the sound was not what I expected. Okay. Like the sound didn't sound like I expected, but that's not a bad thing. So that kind of threw me off at first. Yeah. So when I went back to it, like I really like absorbed these tracks and it's some fire shit on it.
Now, did you think he was gonna go the Dirty Money route? Were you expecting that?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay. Because I didn't think he was gonna go that. We did get a Dirty Money track, which I was happy about, but everything I expected from that album is what we got. Everything we expected. Now, this brings me back to my next question. Okay, one thing I do want to point out before we go there, right? Did you listen to the Dirty Money song, the one with him, Dawn Richards? It got I think the other girl on it, and it got Busta Rhymes. Did you peep that one, right?
I did, but I don't know if that's one of my favorites.
Okay.
I think that was one of the tracks where I was like, I was cool on that one. Like, it was just okay for me.
Now, the beat itself and the arrangement is fire, but his verse had nothing to do with the way the song went. I was like, wait a minute, what? He was like, they got you, boo. I was like, wait, this is like, I'm kind of confused. But it was a decent 8 bars. You know what I'm saying? I felt like the Busta
Speaking of his bars, like one thing I noticed when I was listening to this that I kind of realized is, he's had over the years, Diddy has had cats like Jadakiss, Styles P, and other he's had some greats for him.
And he had what was that kid name? Not to cut you off, there was another kid that I think he was from Queens, I believe. He was writing for Diddy. And for years, they kept saying his album was going to come out. It never came out, and I'm mad about that. Like,
I think I know. I probably know who you're talking about.
And I'm mad about that because
son,
his pen game was fire. But my fault. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you had you got cats like Jadakiss and Styles and all these other rappers writing for you. Yeah. It's like the way he delivers the rhymes. I guess has kind of always felt underwhelming. Like, he has a very monotone when he's like rapping, but everything else he's entertaining. Like when he be dancing, when he be promoting stuff, I'm like, why he never brings that same energy to the rap?
He really don't. That's the funny thing about it. It's kind of weird. It's like a double entendre. Like he'll like glide across the whole stage and then he goes back to that monotone. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. I was on 1, 2, 5 and sing. That's not. So, come on, put some say it with your chest, Puff. Like, come on,
man. Okay, now with this album coming out, right? That brings me back to the question of a versus, right? Now, I got a lot of I got fans down in Georgia now, some believe it, and I rocking with the kid. I appreciate that down in Atlanta, Marietta, Atlanta, Marietta, Jonesboro, a few other cities down in Georgia. Savannah. I checked the analytics. They watching the show and they listening to it, right? But here's my question. Now I'm gonna just say this, right? If y'all think Jermaine Dupri could beat Diddy in a versus, y'all crazy. Y'all are crazy.
Whoa. Slow your roll, cuz. Slow your roll.
Slow down, youngster.
That right there to me, I get, listen, it's one of those things where, first of all, I don't think that versus is actually happening because they kept talking about September.
Not. And I love
September's about to be over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't personally, here's why I don't want to see that versus ever. Because I don't think it's a fair versus to determine things. Here's the thing. Jermaine Dupri has written great classic records and great records. And he's produced behind the board, making beats. He's rapped.
That's fact.
He finds talent. He manages. He's run label.
Yeah.
I don't see, my thing is when it comes to Puff, and this is no disrespect, I think Puff is probably the greatest, what I would say, somebody else called him this years ago, the greatest Mac Daddy in the history of this business. You know what hip hop is today?
Better than Barry Gordy, right?
Genre. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Puff is one of those. Yeah. What hip hop is today, with rappers being able to make all these millions, Puff made that possible.
He did.
When Puff came in and did what he did, he made it possible for hip hop. He really took it to the next level.
He even changed the look of it. People laughed at the shiny suit era, but the shiny suit era, it was an evolutionary period. Everybody had hoodies and Timbs on. He was like, all right, we're gonna look fly, we're gonna look classical, and you got to credit him for that.
His contribution to hip hop can never be repaid.
Nah.
However, my whole question to this and why I'm not on board with that versus is. Yeah. What are we going to consider as a producer then? Because I don't believe that Puff has ever made a beat. I believe he's suggested sound and had sway and influence and said suggested things and picked the vibe and things like that. Yeah. I don't think he sat at the board and made the beat from scratch. He doesn't write songs. Yeah. So it's what are we counting as a producer? Yeah. Because he put his name on it. He was an executive producer. Executive producing and producing are two different things.
It is.
Jermaine Dupri has done both.
I'm glad that you actually pointed that out, right? Now, I get everything you're saying, and we do have to credit. I've been telling people for years, Jermaine Dupri is one of the most overlooked producers in the game. We will always credit this person. If we go back to the 90s, right? We will credit at a certain point, a certain setup. This is the ending of the Pete Rock era and the DJ Premier era when keyboards with actual synthesizers and sounds was coming out, right? All these producers was getting credit. Nobody would give this dude his credit. No, he produced records like Jump, I Missed the Bus, the Brat records, all these different records. He even done stuff for Jay-Z, but why don't he has hit records that are recent. You know what I'm saying? Look at
why I think
what's that?
Why I think he doesn't in hip hop, I don't think he gets the respect because the hip hop acts that he worked with, Crisscross, for example, Bow Wow. Like they aren't respected as like certain other artists. Even the Brat is like the Brat. I think is a little more, but it's been a long time since we heard music from the Brat. Like since the 90s.
And I hate that because the Brat is lyrically, as far as females, lyrically, she was one of the dopest lyricists of her time. As far as female,
I would have loved to hear more music from the Brat. Of course. I would have loved to hear more music.
Listen, hold that thought. We're gonna come back. We got to pay these bills real quick. Shouts out to Spotify for podcasters, which used to be Anchor FM. Shouts out to the new YouTube subscribers. This is episode 102, Two Cuzins Part 6 with the Cousin Damien. We will be right back with the second part of the show. Yeah, what up, man? It's the boy Produk. We're now back with the Life of Produk Podcast. This is episode 102. Shouts out to the cousin, man. He called in. This is Two Cuzins, Part 6. This is the 6th edition of it. Shouts out to the YouTube subscribers. All advertising and sponsorship is 50% off for episodes 103 through 105. All you got to do is email me, lifeofproduct@gmail.com or corporate.Ent @gmail.com. Talk to your boy. We are back. Yo, and back to what we was talking about before about the Brat being overlooked and Jermaine Dupri overlooked. Dog, I got into, I don't argue with people. I told you this, right? I got into a lunch table debate back in high school, right? And we was talking about female rappers, right? And I'm a big Little Kim fan. I'm a big Foxy fan. I am a big Foxy fan. But we were talking about female rappers, and I said, I think the Brat should be top 5 at the time. This was like late 90s, right? I said the Brat should be top 5. Oh, you stupid. Nah, you can't put the Brat. I said, fam, listen to how the Brat raps. I said, the Brat be double spitting and all that. All of that. So I brought up a thing. I said, okay. I said, listen to the album that she had with the Tyrese joint on her. Remember that when they was like on the beach?
Yeah.
She had now people are going to roast me for this, right? And I get roasted all the time. I'm fully prepared for it, right? She had a song on there with Ja Rule where she was rapping fast like Twister, kind of, like in spurts, like double spit and spurts. That was fire. I said, okay, what about that song? Oh, that song is white. I said, y'all haters, B. I can't. I can show you the water. I can show you the water.
What I'm about to say shouldn't be a hot take, but I think it is. But the Brat was always better than Kim and Foxy as a rapper.
She was. And son, listen, I'm telling people this, right? And I hate that, even though that is subjective, I do slightly agree with it. Now, we have to look at it like this, right? I love Little Kim. I love Little Kim older music. I went back and listened to some of her recent albums. I couldn't get into it. It wasn't for me, right? Now, life changed, times changed. Foxy that first album was fire. It was speculated that Jay-Z wrote for. If you go back in the credits, his name was in a lot of the songs, right? China Doll was not a good album. Like, let's just admit that. Let's not sugarcoat it.
No, it was a couple of good tracks on there, but not the overall album.
Exactly. No, but that third one, Broken Silence, is a classic. I still listen to Broken Silence. It was a classic.
That was a good album, I remember. I haven't heard it in a while, but at the time it came out, I liked it.
Exactly. Now, I still agree with you on that, on the Brat being better at the time, because you got to think the Brat was writing for other people. She wasn't just writing for herself. But you know something, though? It's
not an insult to Kim and Foxy to say that, but this generation takes anything that isn't immediate flattering as like,
soft.
Oh, you hate.
It's like, yo, soft, B. They
crazy,
soft.
Big time soft.
Yo,
big time soft.
Anytime, I'm sorry. This is how, look, I got a lot of kids that listen to my podcast now, right? A lot of kids are listening to it, right? I checked the analytics recently, 13 to 17.
Oh, the kids listen to this?
Yo, really? Kids is listening to my show now, believe it or not. They like, yo.
Kids, stay in school. Stay in school.
Listen,
say no to drugs.
Here's the thing, right? If you wear hoodies in the summer and you crying about everything, you were soft. Our generation would have whooped these kids out, son. On a good day, on a bad day, we would have whooped these kids out. But that's not saying nothing to take away from y'all. Still listen to my show. But okay, boom. Now back to the whole Jermaine Dupri versus Diddy, right? The reason why, okay, now I know we talk about Diddy don't produce, he don't hit MPC pass, he don't do, okay, Jermaine Dupri does all that, but we are still talking about, basically, it's like label for label, song for song, right? Bad Boy versus, it's really bigger than Diddy versus Jermaine Dupri. It's really Bad Boy versus So Def is really what it is, right? The reason why I say Diddy's gonna beat him, right? Diddy, to the 90s, like Jermaine Dupri, he never had a Biggie, he never had a Mace, he never had a Black Rob, he never had none of this stuff. He never had a dumb, well, he never had the Boys in the Hood. He never had that, even though he's worked with like the Franchise Boys and people like that. So if you kind of look at the cat, he never had a King Los. He never had none. Just off the Biggie and Mace stuff alone, he never had a total. You know what I'm saying? You can't really put Bow Wow
Well,
up against
his equivalent to total would be Escape.
Okay, I give him that. I forgot about that. Escape was fire, and they can still sing.
Yeah.
So you got it, but dog, he still don't have a Biggie and Mace. He don't got it.
No,
you know. What I'm saying?
And I think now that you mention it, like if they approach it as label versus label, then I'm on board with it. And then you're right, Puff would win. Yes. But some people were suggesting something cool where because these two have such a massive catalog, they should do one versus R&B, one versus rap. Jermaine Dupri would win the R&B. Diddy would win rap.
Okay, now seeing he would win the R&B, right? Are we sure he would win the R&B? Because he didn't. He had an Escape, right? Puff had a total. He
wrote the Mariah album, Emancipation Mimi. He wrote and produced a lot of that. And Usher. Now several Usher projects.
So you know what? You just beat me.
Several Usher, like 3 Usher albums.
You got that. Because I was going to say,
he wrote Confessions.
Yeah, he did write Confessions. He wrote. Didn't he write My Way? He wrote My Way and produced it, didn't he? Or co-produced
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, whatnot. And then you know what's dope too? A lot of the stuff that didn't Jermaine Dupri do a lot of work with Brian Michael Cox, I believe. He did some stuff with Brian Michael Cox.
He might probably, because I think that's another. I can't remember if Brian Michael Cox is Atlanta based, but I think if he is, then I believe so. Yeah.
Son, Brian Michael Cox is a legend, and if for all of y'all, a lot of young kids that do music be listening to my show, y'all need to really start looking up these dudes like Brian Michael Cox. And look at the track record of him. Look at the track record of Jermaine Dupri. You know what I'm saying? I want to get into a little more hip hop now. Let's really talk some. What albums you jacking this shit? Because we had some good albums come out this year, but they weren't really pushed to the forefront. And I got a list right now about the bust out on you real quick. You know what I'm saying? Okay, boom. Hold on, brother. Hold on, because I want boom. In my personal opinion, I listen to a lot of albums, right? I think, and this is just me, right? I think the best hip hop albums that I've listened to, because you remember we said not all good hip hop albums get pushed to the forefront. They be pushing a lot of. I'm gonna just say a lot of South music is oversaturated in the game, and Apple Music, all of these streaming platforms, they push that stuff to the forefront. So you're gonna see that first. Plus they have like a more of a push. But to me, the best hip hop albums I've listened to so far is this in 2023 is the Dave East album and the Killer Mike album. That Killer Mike album is fire, dog.
Yeah, that's a great album. And that is a great album.
I feel like Killer Mike, I feel like he got overlooked. Even though we knew who he was, his name wasn't put in those conversations for years. So I feel like this year he put his best foot forward and said, all right, this is what I'm bringing to the table. And it was a well-produced, well-engineered album. The Dave East album is every Dave East album gets better and better, like every project he drops. Did you listen to it yet?
I had Dave East project. I didn't listen to it.
You gotta go back and listen to it. He's got a joint with Tyga on there that's fire. The joint with G-Eazy is fire. The second track after the intro, he's got Kid Capri on it. You know what I'm saying? And I like that because we don't really hear Kid Capri that often. You know what I'm saying? And remember back in the day we used to go to Coney Island. We used to see Kid Capri DJing at the Himalaya. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
You know what I'm saying? So obvious, but nah, it's a fire album. And I think what okay, so hold on. So those two albums, I want to get into some other stuff, but the Conway album is fire. I know how you feel about Griselda. You know what I'm saying? I know how you feel.
Well, Conway has that funny voice that is like you can laugh at his voice, but now he makes good albums though.
He really good albums. Yo, what's the argument? All right, who do you think make better albums, him or Benny the Butcher?
Ooh, that's a good one. You know what?
Easy,
I'm gonna go with Conway.
You're gonna go with Conway?
I'm gonna go with Conway.
Yeah. I can't.
And it's not, you know what? My bad. Not to cut you off. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's not Conway who has the funny voice. It's West Side Gun.
Yeah. Go ahead. Do your best West Side Gun impression.
Yeah.
Hey yo. But yo, not for nothing. A lot of people. Some people like him. Some people don't. I like West Side Gun because I know he's always gonna.
No, I like him. It's just his voice is like it's funny. Yeah.
So all right. So we got the Conway album. The Conway and 38 Special album is fire, dog. It's
38 Special is nice.
Son,
he's underrated.
He's been consistently dropping heat for how long now? Like, son,
he got some heat with not an album, but he got a couple of joints with Ransom. Who, by the way, Ransom. I don't know if you. Ransom is like my favorite active rapper today.
Son, I listen to Ransom. Anytime Ransom drops something, I listen to it. Like I've been.
I think he dropped something last week, but I didn't see it. I heard he dropped the project on Product.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm gonna go check that out. But I've been listening to Ransom ever since he was with the A-Team, him and Hitchcock. Back in, you know what I'm saying? I was with my I took a trip down to ATL years ago with my BM, and I remember I bought one of the mixtapes right outside the underground. You know what I'm saying? And it was funny because I saw a fight right after that. I was like, damn, ATL is ghetto. Y'all kind of ghetto out here, but I fit right in. But also, okay, my other favorite album of 2023 is the new Black Thought album. He dropped it. That thing the dude name is like Mikkel's is Michael or something like that. But it's smooth, but it's to the point. Like he understood the assignment. You know, Black Thought always delivers when it comes to lyrics. And the problem is a lot of people, he never gets put in a conversation who's the nicest rappers. He never gets put in that conversation. Which I don't
only
understand
among
why.
like real true hardcore hip hop heads.
Yes.
Is he mentioned? Like,
yeah. Well, hold that thought. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back with a third part of the Life of Produk Podcast, episode 102, Two Cousins, part 6. Stay tuned. Yeah, what up, man? It's the boy Produk. We're now back with the Life of Produk Podcast, episode 102. This is Two Cousins, part 6. You can check us out everywhere from YouTube to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Pandora. The Pandora station is Produk Radio, or you could just search Life of Produk Podcast. We are back. Yo, oh man, son, what's good with Top Boy season 3, son? You finished it yet?
Yeah, I did finish it. Yeah, it was dope. I like it.
Yo, it was dope, but I'm hearing that they're done with it. Like they're not doing another one.
Oh yeah, this was the final season. They advertised it like that. Yeah.
So, but okay, I think that's cool. But the thing is, the cliffhanger at the end. I would love to see them in 10 years come with the spinoff show because they left room for a spinoff. Maybe,
There's plenty of room.
You know what I'm saying? So
because certain things were like, to me, not certain. It was just little things that I felt were kind of maybe unsolved and could have done. Like you could see more happening with, like, you know what I mean. But I'm cool with the ending. I think it was a fitting ending for the show.
You know what? Okay, main question: who killed Sully? Who you think killed him?
I think it was Jack because it looked like her jacket. That
a lot of people
the bomber jacket she was wearing.
A lot of people saying that, and I tried to do like the whole freeze frame. I tried to scrub it. I watched it on my actual TV to try, and I couldn't catch that part. If Jack did kill him, I wouldn't be surprised, right? But I'm gonna go conspiracy theory real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let's go conspiracy theory real quick. So I went back and I watched the original Top Boy episodes, like the Summer House edition, right? I don't think it was Jack. So my brother think what's the little brother name again? Jamie little brother. You know
Stephen.
Okay, my brother thinks Steph killed him. We went through this whole 5. You know how me and Devon get. We went through this whole 5-minute thing. I was like, Steph ain't kill him, son. Steph killed him. I said Steph had the opportunity. He went soft and walked away. So he ain't do it. I think Rafe killed him. So you watched the Summer House series, right?
I didn't. I actually got to go back to watch it. Yeah.
So I hate to be a spoiler to you. Rafe is a dude. So Sully kidnapped his own cousin. His goals. Sully kidnapped his own cousin or whatever. The dude he kidnapped had a brother. I guess that was his cousin. But I think it was his brother. His name was Rafe or whatever. Rafe was gonna kill Sully. He tried to kill Sully. Rafe is like the only dude you really see Sully for all of the seasons from Summer House to regular Top Boy that he was afraid of. Really. So he tells the Sheen, he was like, yo, Rafe is crazy. He's sneaky. You don't see him coming. So I think the Sheen was related to them or related to Rafe. Something. I don't know. That was his homeboy, whatever. So Rafe and Deshane cut a deal. Deshane was like, yo, don't hurt him. Boom, boom, boom. Rafe tells Deshane the minute everything dies down or whatever, boom, I'm going to put one in his head. And then Sully even said the same thing. He was like, you don't see Rafe coming, he'll put one in your head. So literally the morning after Deshane gets killed, Sully gets killed. This is why I think he did it. But I wouldn't be shocked if Jack did it because, you know, Sully and him killed her homeboy. He with that kid, his character was kind of dumb anyway. He couldn't lie for nothing. He kind of deserved to get killed.
Yeah, that bothered the shit out of, like, he just, I'm like, yo, you know what it is? I think with these shows and movies, they do that where it's like, it's only for the sake of the plot that they make somebody a bad liar. Because it's like, yo, it's way easier to lie. It's like you could have came up with a better lie than that.
Yo, so
he just could not lie at all.
Yeah, I was sitting there yelling at my TV, like, just kill him already. Hurry up. Just get it over. Just get over. Just get over. But you know what I do respect about Top Boy, though, overall? They put a lot of people on, son. A lot of we've got 3 Marvel actors. I don't know if a lot of y'all know this, right? There's been a renaissance going on in the UK for like the last, I would say, 10 to 20 years on black side of entertainment. There's been a renaissance going on there. Everything from acting to movies. So out here in America, in New York in particular, our favorite hood show was Money and Violence, right? Their version of that was Top Boy Summer House. Now you got 3 Marvel actors from that. So if you go to the Summer House series, the girl that played Chadwick Boseman's sister in Black Panther, she was in the first season. She was trapping with them. A lot of people don't know this. The girl Michaela Cole, she plays a character named Michaela in season 2 of Top Boy Summer House. She was in Black Panther 2. The dude, what's the dude name that plays? He's in Doctor Strange. He plays a dude that's with Doctor Strange. You remember his name in the show?
Chiwetel Ejiofor, I think.
I can't remember his name for nothing, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, Chiwetel Ejiofor, I believe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I believe that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so he's in Top Boy Summer House. You know what I'm saying?
He is?
He is. Yeah, he's in it. He's in it. Like, I was like, I was looking.
He's been around for a minute.
Yo, and I was like, yo, this dude looks really familiar. And then I'm watching. I'm like, nah. I know.
Oh, you know what? No. Because somebody was telling me about Summer House because they're watching it now. Yeah. It's not him. It's a guy that looks like him. You know who it is?
It's
the guy
him?
that's in Top Boy Summer House.
Okay, my bad.
The dude that was in. Remember the 50 Cent show that got canceled after 2 seasons for Life?
Oh, okay. So that's him.
That's him.
This dude,
that's the guy.
They gotta be related. Yo, and I mean that in the most non-racist way. I'm not trying to say all Asian people look alike. I'm not saying,
good actors,
but they sound alike. That's the thing. So it's like, I thought it was him. But the thing is, but so this brings me back to how Paul laughed about it because everybody at Top Boy was a rapper. Like everybody, literally everybody.
Yeah, I'm like, why are all these dudes rappers? Like, what is this?
All of them, son.
Like all of them are rappers.
But the funny thing about it,
even Jamie, like Jamie raps.
Yeah. So the funny thing about it,
Shane, Sully.
Let's keep.
I think the only one that don't rap is the girl that plays Jack. She don't rap.
Jack don't rap. But so the funny thing about that, right? Out of all of the hood shows we seen rappers acting, I'm willing to bet money and say Top Boy has the best rapper actors. Now I'm saying best actor rappers. I'm not saying they're the best rappers, but as far as acting, when they could act really good, really good. Now I think theater is like a thing out there in London and the UK. Like theater is really big. I think they take that in school. Even the girl. Yeah. Remember the girl? There's a girl. Well, you didn't watch Summer House yet. There's a girl that plays. Well, no, even on my fault. So the girl. Remember when they were trying to arrest the dude and deport him? And Jack and the other girl, the light-skinned girl, she was like kind of short, kind of heavy set. She was like trying to help stop it. She was a rapper named Norlay out there. Yeah. So
the light-skinned girl you're talking about, she was the baby mom. Remember the dude that was Sully's best friend? Yes. He killed him for ratting?
She was the baby mom.
That's who she is. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's crazy, dog. So even the brother Aaron, the middle brother between Jamie and Steph, right? He wasn't on season 3. So I was watching a thing with him talking on TikTok, and he said he wasn't on the show because he felt like the character had no arc, it had no direction. He said every episode he spoke, it was like the same type of lines. And the writers, and apparently, Shane and Kano, Sully, they had a problem with some of the writers, and they were pushing really hard to get the story to stay on track because the writers wanted to go different directions. That's why the dude Aaron, he didn't do season 3, he left. But he's a rapper too. These dudes is rappers.
Yeah. They didn't have his character didn't do it. His character was always in his phone, and he would just have he would say one line. Yeah, it's like he never had there. They didn't give him anything to do.
Nothing. And I was like, fam, this is like. So I actually don't blame him for leaving. But I think Top Boy I love how Top Boy gave all these people these different opportunities. And it's crazy. So even Shane's wife in real life, his name is I think Ashley Waters or something like that. His wife in real life was in the show. So remember the girl. Well, the lady that was at the halfway house with Steph, the light-skinned lady, and she would have like 1 or 2 lines. That's his wife in real life. All of them are connected.
Okay, cool.
All of them are connected. She's his wife in real life. So the girl Michaela Cole that was in the second Wakanda Forever, second Black Panther, that was on season 2 of Summer House. She was her co-star. They played best friends in the Netflix show Chewing Gum that came out a few years ago. That did like 2 seasons. So that's why I feel like there's like a real renaissance going on in the UK right now. Honestly, I think us over here, we need to pay more attention to it. You know what I'm
saying? They're super talented. Yeah.
So boom. I want to talk to you real quick. What do you heard about Diddy giving back all the the royalties and rights to some of the artists? I don't think he gave it to everybody though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard. I mean, it's a very noble thing. Yeah. I think people would talk, like, I know we talked about this a bit offline, where Mark Curry made a video where he talked about it, and he was like, oh, it's not worth nothing. It's like worth about $800. It's like you gave it after you made money off of it.
Yeah.
But I think that comment to me, like, for somebody like Mace, it mattered. Like, how long do we see Mace constantly fight and beef with Diddy to get his publishing? So I think what Mark Curry is kind of undercutting the artists who fought for this. Like, I get it. Like, I'm not trying to shit on Mark Curry, but maybe it's his publishing that just isn't worth anything. Because remember, we didn't really hear much from him, and I don't know what he was doing behind the scenes. Like, I know sometimes some of those guys that were signed were like, they were writing for Diddy and others, but I don't know if he did. So if his publishing is not worth much, it's probably because he wasn't putting in as much work for long. But for some other artists,
some unspoken
that
stuff
publishing matters.
It does. And well, hold on, we're gonna do a fourth segment of the show. It's the boy Produk, Life of Produk Podcast. I got cousin Damien on the show. We will be right back with the fourth part of the show because we ain't done talking yet. Stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, what up, man? It's the boy Produk. We're now back with the Life of Produk Podcast. This is episode 102. This is Two Cuzins, part 6. If you need advertising, sponsorships, or if you are interested in doing an interview, hit me up, lifeofproduk@gmail.com or Korporate.Ent @gmail.com. This is corporate with the K. All right, back to what we was talking about Diddy giving the royalties. The same thing about it only being worth $800. The girl, Aubrey from the Danny D. Kane group, I was watching her talk, and she said it was the same thing with their catalog. And she hit all of the girls up and said, yo, don't take it or whatever. She said don't take it because it came with stipulations. So they had to basically sign a release form saying that they could never badmouth him or bad boy or talk about certain stuff, right? That part I could understand you don't want to take it because now you're being silenced. You know what I'm saying? Now, hypothetically, if that paperwork wasn't attached to them getting their royalties back, right? There's so much you could do with your catalog. You're already an established artist. Now, Mark Curry, every time I watch his videos, he don't look like he in a good place. I ain't trying to be funny about that. He look like he kind of hurting in life, like he been going through it. And if he is, I feel bad for him. But once you got the power to your creativity that was out there with the right people behind you. Now, I'm not saying take the deal, right? But with the right people behind you, you could really work that catalog if you really know what you're doing. If you had Mark Curry, probably not so much because let's keep it real. Mark Curry wasn't a Biggie. He wasn't a Mace. He wasn't none of that, right? He wasn't. He didn't even have a record like like Black Rob. He didn't have that, right? But a group like Danny D. Kane with them Danny D. Kane music was so fire. They could get that in commercials. They could get it in movies. They could get it on streaming shows and things like that. They could use that old catalog and segue and make a new catalog. Now, the funny thing about the music industry, just because they're getting the rights to their old catalog, there could be stipulations in that paperwork saying they can't go record a new album. Let's keep it 100. The music industry is funny like that. That by signing that might lock them in for something in the future. We don't know. Look at what happened when the Locks left, went to Rough Riders, and still had to pay Bad Boy speculated from 25 to 50% of their stuff. Puff said it was 25%. Styles was like, no, it's 50%. You feel what I'm saying? Now that brings me okay. Let's to the. I love the Lox. The Lox is one of my top 5 favorite rap groups of all time. I've been buying the albums since Money, Power, Respect. Right, listening to their mixtapes, freestyles, and all that. But let's keep it 100, son. Let's. I don't like holding back, right? And this is not discrediting the Lox to anybody. If this dude held you in these bad contracts for all these years, you argue with him on the radio, or would you really make up with this person?
Maybe I hold grudges. I think it has to do with if you are in a good place, which the Lox are fortunate enough to where they were able to continually see success. Not even arguably, they got more success after they left Bad Boy. They continued their careers and ended up continuing to put out great work. Yeah. Not every artist from Bad Boy can say that. So if you're in a better place years later, then I think you're more likely to kind of make up. That's why you don't really they badmouth Puff for years, but then they kind of repaired that relationship. But like Aubrey from Danny Kane has always kind of badmouth Puff, and I'm not saying she doesn't have a reason. So I'm not really shitting on her for doing it. Like if you have your reasons and you want to use your social media and platforms to put that out there, more power to you. Yeah, I often wonder though. Like Aubrey has been she's been a main person who complained. Mace as well, and even Jadakiss in the years prior. Like Jada even was putting out records where he was dissing Puff, like at one time.
I remember that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So for me, I feel like, what about everybody? Like, I don't hear anything ever from anybody else from Danny Kane.
And that's the
Dawn
thing.
Richards, she was with Dirty Money, right?
Yeah.
Dawn Richards, okay, so I can understand her maybe not saying them because she continued to work with Paul.
Yeah.
The other girls, I don't hear anything. The dudes, so what was the male group he had?
Son.
The dudes. Forget them.
Just
one of them was
dudes because we don't remember, just the dudes.
Yeah, I mean, they I know dope, they had a couple of slaps, and I did watch their reality show, but we don't hear from them.
Yeah, and they was
like
dope,
you don't
man.
hear from certain people.
It hurts to see that. I don't know what happened with them dudes, but they had so much potential. Like they had a lot of potential. Yeah. Whatever happened to the band? Remember them?
They're another group of people. Like we don't hear from them like that. I mean, Babs every now and then.
Babs still do her thing. But, like she's doing battles.
Yeah, Babs still out there.
Shouts out to Babs because she be on my homeboy. She worked with my homeboy. My homeboy. What's his name? He was doing Forced Descent. He was doing all of that. Ray Luke. She was doing a lot of work with Ray Luke. Shouts out to Ray Luke.
Yes, that's why I saw her. Yeah, right. Shout out to Ray Luke. Yeah.
Yo, dog, Ray Luke. I want to see Ray Luke shine, brother. I want to say Ray Luke is like family. And I remember getting drunk with Ray Luke and cousin Lolo a couple times. You know, it was great times, man. You know what I'm saying? Great times. But I want to see Ray Luke go from using a point and shoot camera to having full camera film equipment to having releases and being on Tubi, doing series, doing movies. That's great. And to see people like
he just had a premiere at like the I think it was the Alamo Draft House or something like that. I was gonna go, but I think I either had to work late or something came up. But he had a premiere. If I was still
back in Brooklyn, I would have went to Ray Luke premiere. He even got Zab Judah in his stuff. And you know what's crazy? Ray hit me up when I moved to Jersey, and he wanted me to be on one of his projects, but I with my work schedule, I couldn't do it. And I'm still mad to this day. I couldn't. I was trying hard to configure, and I just
same because he had he posted something for open auditions a couple of months ago, and I was like, yo, I could totally try to be in one of those, but like I can't. Like in my work schedule, I couldn't make time.
Yo, if we was on one of Ray's shows, we could have been like the cousin Hyatt Hitman. You know what I'm saying? Just bodying everybody. So I'm killing everybody. You know what I'm saying? The show is a movie. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I was talking to Ray. Me and Ray had a few conversations, and I remember right before he started Forced Descent, and I want to shout Ray Luke out because I think what y'all need to understand about Ray Luke, right? Ray has a passion for what he does. And me and Ray was talking, and this is not me putting business out there, but this is why he did it. And I'm pretty sure he's told the story to other people. Ray had a godson. I don't know what happened with the parents, but the godson was placed in the foster care. Maybe the parents was going through stuff. I don't know. The godson was placed in foster care, and the godson was being molested by the foster father, and the foster father gave him AIDS, and he died. You feel what I'm saying? So we never know what the passion is behind people and for the things that they do. We never know where that drive or that creativity came from. That creativity came from a place of hurt, but it also came from a place of care. He loved his godson, and look what he blossomed from it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see Ray Luke keep on going, man. I want him to keep on going, brother. Ray, we root for you, brother, because you know what I'm saying. We need that. I honestly feel like from me living out of town and me traveling out of town, a lot of people be trying to down us New Yorkers, and I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like there's a level, real talk, like there's like a level of hate there. But it's like one thing special about us New Yorkers, especially people from Brooklyn. Out of towners could come visit, but the average out of towner does not have what it takes to survive and come up in our era where we come from. They don't have that, and this is not taken from them. But just New York is different in a good way and a bad way. Because it's kind of like, yo, son.
Yeah, facts.
We done been through some stuff, man. What's the music scene like now for the younger artists out there? I know you. I don't think you rocking with it like that. And if you're not, I don't blame you. It's a little different.
Not really. I mean, it's we were talking the other day about the Southern sound kind of not going away for sure. Like, the influence is still there, but it's kind of shifting to where it's not, it's tough I can't really describe it too well as I'd like to, but it's like, in a way, it's like, it's not as Southern. It's like, it's kind of now blending into something else. Yeah. And it's not as so heavily like the trap types. The trap subgenre is not as dominant.
And you know what?
As it was. At least that sound.
I love Southern music. I just hate the whack stuff that puts to the front. Like I love artists like Big Crit. I love Jid. Jid is dope. Of course, I love J. Cole. J. Cole's from the South too. I think the Baby is dope lyrically. I want to see his sound change, but I think the Baby is dope lyrically. I hate that so much stuff has happened in his personal life and has put him like in a not so great looking light. You know what I'm saying? How everybody gonna judge you. Everybody's judgmental, right? But And when I had the homie H Jones up here, because H Jones is really from North Carolina, we were talking about how come there's not more North Carolina rappers that got pushed to the forefront. You got J. Cole, the Baby, Petey Pablo. There was another kid that was on that song, Sun in the Morning, whatever it was called, but that had J. Cole and the Baby on it. So people like that. Oh, you got Rhapsody from North Carolina. But you can't really name too much more. I feel like there's a rabbit hole with it. I feel like the people, quote unquote, that are above in music, they don't want lyricism to push to the forefront, because there's rappers that are good and rappers that are not good. There's a mental difference between them. Rappers that are good, they don't tolerate a lot of BS on a personal level from people. But you got these other rappers that's not that good that just jumped in it for music, and they're pushed to the forefront. And these people, I'm gonna just say people, these people that or above everybody that sit in these seats, they know that. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my opinion on it. And I honestly think a shift is coming, and I think a change is coming, and it needs to hurry up. We need it, because the coach is dying. The coach is dying. You know what I'm saying? If there's not a real change 10 years from now, hip-hop is done. It's done. The
heart and soul of it is going away. Like, that's what it is. It's the heart of it.
I've been listening to like a lot of UK rap. I've been listening to a lot of UK rap. Did you listen to the project? Okay, so the dude that played Modi on Top Boy Season 1, he's a rapper named Dave. Dave is dope, son. He's dope. So
he's probably, I don't want to say, I'd have to listen to a bunch more of them, but I don't want to say he's the best of them, but he's definitely up there as one of the best to come out of UK. One of the best hip-hop artists.
As far as straight rapping goes, to me, my top 3 UK rappers is him, Kano, the dude that plays Sully, and the Little Sims, the girl that played the Shane girlfriend. To me, I think Little Sims is better than all of them. I'm gonna keep it.
Kano is phenomenal. Like, I've seen clips of his performances.
He is.
Like, I want, you know what it is, after okay, if you haven't seen Top Boy, like, please, like, go watch it before you listen to some of this. But I wanted to hate Sully when he killed Jamie at the end of season 2.
Son,
but then I started coming across. I went down a YouTube rabbit hole of like certain like UK drill music, and he kept coming up a lot. And each time I'm going to each video, I'm like, I hope this is gonna be trash. I can't wait to hate on it. And the dude was just fire. Like, lyrically, he is just insane.
He's like the UK Nas. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't take it.
He's a beast.
Listen real quick. I want to talk about. We got a couple more minutes left. I want to talk about this Nas album. Oh man, I want to talk about. I hate to do this.
Dun, dun, dun.
I hate to do this. I hate to do this, brother. I hate to do this, brother. I'm a Nas fan. You know this. You know I'm a Nas fan, man. I'm a Nas fan. But out of the 6 albums that he's released with Hit Boy, I can only rock with 3 of them. I can only rock with KD2, KD3, and Magic. I'm not saying KD1. It wasn't for me. It felt like they were still filling each other out, right? Okay, that's fine. Magic 2 it didn't hit for me. I feel like Magic 3 was released too fast. It was like literally, I think Magic 2 came out 2 months ago or something like that.
About that.
Like 2 months ago, right? All right, Magic 2. The bars was there. The energy wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't too, and I love Hit Boy's production. I wasn't too crazy about the production. I hated the song with 50 Cent. Hated it. Oh man, Nas's verse was good.
It was trash. The song 50 was trash. And that was the funny thing is you say that but a lot of people I heard was like, that's the song they went right to. They were looking when they heard the track list.
That's what I did.
And they saw 50 Cent was featured. They were like, oh, I'm running that. I was gonna do the same thing, but it was the second or third track. So I was like, all right, I'll wait to get to it.
But nah, man,
I put the album on, listen to it. Get to that song. I didn't listen to that album. It was just like
the first thing I did, bro. But the first thing I did when I saw 50 was on it, I said, all right, I know these two got a history. Let me see if Nas killed him on it. So before I listened to the whole album, I went to that song first. And I was like, nah, fam. I think at this point, and no disrespect to 50, because 50's done phenomenal numbers. He ran hip hop with him, G Unit. They did I still go back and listen to all the old G Unit mixtapes, right? But I think he should not rap no new stuff. I think he should just keep performing his old stuff like he doing right now. His final.
Well, I do. You know I will say I wouldn't mind a Kanan tape part 2.
You wouldn't? I'm not listening.
The Kanan tape was fire.
Listen to it.
The Kanan tape was fire.
The Kanan tape was fire. But after that verse on Magic 2, I can't. I'm good, brother. Nah,
he teased the part 2, but we never got it.
Yeah.
It's like,
okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
He did, like, he kind of put something, like he posted something or whatever and hinted at it, but it just never happened.
So Magic Part 3, right? We need to talk about Magic Part 3, right? Magic Part 3, I see where they was trying to go. Like I see where they was trying to go. I actually like his lyrics on it, and I love the production on it. I love the way that Hit Boy was triggering the samples. I love the way he cut the samples on it, right? But I just don't think the bars and the beats matched. I don't think it was there. I don't think it was there, son.
That's the same. I felt the same way. It was that was what was not. It wasn't clicking for me.
It wasn't clicking for me.
Something was off.
I'm so much of a Nas fan. I went back and listened to it 2 more times. I listened to this album 3 times, dog, just to like try to find an avenue to not feel how I felt. This is how much I love Nas as a rapper. I just couldn't. I think they need to close that series now. I don't think they need to go back to it.
I believe they are done. This is it. Like the 6 projects, they are done.
Good.
My thing. Okay, so here's my take. I share the same thing where I felt KD2, KD3, and the first Magic I liked.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Because a lot of people have been talking about this where they said, "Oh, great run. This is a great run." Some people have even put the question out there. Okay, well, where do you place him now in the all-time list, or how do you feel about the Nas versus Jay-Z conversation now? And here's the thing. Let me just say this. Listen, like you said, like lyrically, Nas is probably the greatest of all time. Lyrically, just off lyrics alone.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to the total package of making music, making songs is where he loses out to a lot of his peers.
Yeah.
Where with this 6 project run, despite how much people like it, and there's some good stuff on these albums. Yeah. The problem is there's not one classic record, one classic song is on these projects.
It's not.
6 projects, 3 years, not one of these projects, not one of those songs is classic. Now, I'm not saying that to shit on him. I'm saying that is what you should look at if you're going to try to change where his placement is in the all-time list. Because to me, I don't think he moves. Yes. I don't think it moves at all. I think these projects were cool for if you're a Nas fan, but like I said, for me, it was 3. It was 3 for 3. Not 3 for 3. It was 3. It was 3 for 6. I feel like 3 for 6 for me. And it's like, they're not memorable enough. Like I haven't gone back to KD2 or 3. Like it's just I remember liking them, but there's nothing classic from them.
Well, for me, I actually still go back and listen to KD2, KD3, and Magic because I love those albums that much. I think KD2 and KD3 is a classic. What I did like about the Magic series, they shifted the energy from KD3. Magic is more like a B-side type album, which I respect that. But a lot of B-side albums always have something really special about them. I feel like they caught that specialness for Magic 1, but not for 2 and 3. I think Magic 2 and 3 kind of feels like other songs that they recorded that they just mashed together on the project and say, yo, let's put this out, which is smart because it's going to make money. But it's like, no, I don't think so. Now, I'm going to tell you what album was actually pretty decent and it was slept on, the one that Hit Boy did with his pops when his pops got out of jail. That was a good album. That was good. I gave that album 3 good listens, and I said, you know what? I like what they did. I like the fact that his pops came home from jail and his pen game was still there. I love that. That means that while he was locked up, he was still writing. I thought that was to see his son and his father do an album together, and his son. Well, I don't know how long his pops was locked up, but for a son and the father to do an album together, and his son like, yo, I'm holding it down while you there. Soon, because he kept saying that soon as Big hit, come on, he said that multiple times. Soon as he came home, they hit that studio right away. So that's kind of fire. But yeah, man, the Magic 2 and 3, it ain't for me, bro. Now, before we close the show. Since we from Brooklyn, we got to access. Mind you, Queens is our neighbors, right? I lived in Queens for 4 years, went back to Brooklyn. Brooklyn is home. This brings me back to my question, right? Whose catalog is better, Nas or Jay?
It's still Jay. It's still Jay.
And I still got to. Now I love Nas' catalog. I will throw a Nas. My favorite Nas albums was It Was Written and I Am. Those are my favorite albums. Now, It Was Written, I Am, and KD2 and KD3. Those 4 albums, right? Now, with those 4 albums, right? I love Magic, but it's not one of my favorite, right? Those 4 albums. Now you still got Magic 2, Magic 3. Nostradamus, I see where he was trying to go, but the production wasn't there. I see where he was trying to go with the End album, but it just the production and song just arrangement just really it didn't really process with a lot of us. What was the other album? Streets Disciple. Streets Disciple had some slaps on it, but it just wasn't. You could literally put every Jay-Z album on and you could rock with it. You know, You know what? If Jay never releases another solo album, I'm mad, but I'm not mad because the way he ended in 2018 with 444, son, 444 is a classic, son. Classic. So
I disagree. I don't
yeah.
enjoy 444 as much. I hear a lot of people say the same thing. Where it was
Word.
cool,
Oh,
but it
man.
wasn't great. It was good, but not great. And it wasn't great. It was okay.
I loved it, man.
I would have liked to hear a different album him go out on. And I thought for sure a couple of years ago he would have put something out. And I do think we'll see at least one more album from him.
I've heard rumors off and on a couple of years here and there that he was working on an album, but I don't think we're gonna get it no time soon, honestly.
I think it'll come whenever he feels like dropping it. Like I don't think he's not on anybody's time at all.
It might be random. I do like what he did with Jay Electronica. They kept calling it "Watch the Quran."
I ain't like that shit at all.
A lot of people didn't, but it kind of, for me, I liked it. I like to hear. You know why? I'm gonna tell you the main reason why I liked it. Because Jay kind of gave him that big brother push to get that album out. Because Jay Electronica for years we would get singles, but we would get features, but we would not get an album. I think that's why I liked it the most. Yeah, man. Hopefully we don't get another Watch the Throne. I know you probably want another Watch the Throne. I don't want another.
I don't. Man. You know why I'm not like one of those people who like does want it, because I feel like neither one of them are in the same space to do anything great together. Like I don't think they would rock well together. At this point.
They definitely won't. It probably wouldn't even get finished because I feel like Kanye would do some crazy left field stuff, man.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's more him than Jay. Obviously.
Yeah,
I think that would be problematic. But neither one of them, I don't think, is in the space where it would be there. Like, let me ask you something real quick. Do you think Watch the Throne is a classic album?
I think it's a classic album. Okay,
a lot of people, because that was a debate on another podcast, and people like only one dude was like it isn't. But I agree with him. I don't think it's a classic. I think it's a great album, but I wouldn't call it a classic.
The reason why I do say it's a classic is because in a time where like trap music was at an all-time high and people, we left out the crunk era, we was going into the trap era, they used different sounds that nobody wasn't doing. They was using like different arrangements. They had Hit Boy on it. They had the RZA a track on it. I think it was the album at the time. The sound was like so much in their own bubble that to me it created a classic album at that time, because it was kind of like, we're the OGs of this. We don't care what y'all doing. We gonna do our own thing, and that's why I loved it so much. And look, fam, when the white people rocking the niggas in Paris, you already know. You know what I'm saying? When white people singing niggas in Paris line for line, you got a Will Ferrell sample on it. It kind of like, you know what I'm saying? But I do get what you're saying. If hip hop was at a shift and it was where it was before that and stayed consistent, then that would not have been a classic album. It wouldn't have been that. It wouldn't have been that. But I love some of the synths that they used on it and stuff like that. We got even though Kanye was rapping on it, it was heavily influenced Kanye production, like the way some of the beats would switch at the end with the hard synth and the bass and stuff like that. But it was dope. But yeah, it's the boy Produk. Life of Produk Podcast. This is episode 102, man. The Cuzzo Damien called back into the show. Yo, look, we need to do this once a month, Cuzzo. What's up? You trying to rock? What's up?
Yeah, I'm down, man.
We need to do this once a month. And I don't care if it's a trash album, we're gonna review it, we're gonna trash it, we just gonna put it out there because somebody need to say it. It's the boy Produk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yo,
absolutely.
Fam, thank you for calling into the show. I'm gonna get at you, brother. It's the boy Produk. I'm out, baby.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
You already know. Gia.
You are now listening to the Life of Produk Podcast.